Hello guys, Joe Butler. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are finally doing the long-awaited E-100 review video, or let's build video, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, this boy has been it's been a big beast. Um, Not a commission. It was just like one day I'm like, I want to do well. Okay, the story behind this build is, I got a commission for the Panther 2, and that's like an alt history kind of what if tank. It's like kind of, but not really, because the chassis existed, but the turret didn't. But anyways, so I built that as a commission, and then I just had the idea, that was pretty fun. Why don't I build another kind of what if alt history tank? And this is where that led to. Of course, if you're going to have a medium tank, you're going to need a supporting heavy tank. And in 1946, the E-100 slash Mouse probably would have been that supporting heavy tank for the Panther 2 or the E-50 or whatever. Some people have told me that the Panther 2 is basically like the E-50, or it's like the very genesis of the E-50. So you could kind of say that I have built the E-50 and the E-100 now. So I only have like what two or three vehicles left of the E series, which I'm absolutely not going to build, by the way, because those absolutely did not exist in real life whatsoever. They existed on paper, but they did not exist like as actual completed or partially completed prototypes. I'm okay with doing partially completed, where it would have been easy to like see it built, but I'm not really okay with doing paper designs. But if you pay me good enough, then I'll do it. But yeah, anyways, so that's the story behind this build. It's just basically like a complement to the Panther 2, which I haven't built yet. I have the parts, but I just haven't gotten around to building it yet because I'm lazy. But yeah, so this is 1/35th scale. It's an absolutely ginormous build, and you can see here I don't have. It's so large that I have to show like like my piece of paper here just cannot fill the entire frame. Um, so yeah, that just goes to show you like how freaking huge this build is, and this is my biggest build so far, I think. Let me think for a second. Yes, this is definitely my biggest build so far, if you don't count dioramas. Um, and yeah, also I said in the last video with the 234/4 that I already sold this boy. So this boy is already going to a new home already, and the reason why is because I want to use that money to fund future projects. And it's not like I'm not going to have an E-100. I will still have it. I just need to rebuild it. Actually, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to order some parts today, see if I can get them in time so I don't have to disassemble this guy. I can just create a new kit, essentially. Yeah, anyways, let's get into the build here. So, oh boy, where do I begin? I want to kind of go like in detail on how I made this. Okay, I'm gonna stop the turntable here. Kind of surprised that it works. All right, so I just stopped there. All right, so a thing I really like about this build, and something that is really particular to the E-100 is the side armor here. So you can see like it's kind of a weird curve. Now, if you look at actual cutaways of the E-100 side armor, it's not like a consistent curve. It's like kind of like a flat angle on the top, and then it kind of like curves down on the other half. And this technique I did for the side, which I'm not going to show, but it's really freaking awesome, like how it turned out. And also, what I like even more is how perfect the connection is. You can see that everything is absolutely flush. They fit perfectly, and there's like zero gaps there whatsoever. Now, yes, there's some like massive gaps here, but this part is really tricky, because it's like a really complex curve where it's like going down and it's going to the side. So this is the best solution I could come up with. I have seen better solutions of other E-100s. Feel free to go and check those out. But this is the best one I could come up with. My original solution here was to use U-clips. However, that would have been a very janky and ghetto solution. And, if I were to sell this as a kit or as instructions, people really would not like that. So I had to abandon that idea, and thankfully I did. And this idea is way better. And if you want to know basically what I did here, it's literally just a hinge plate. Like, that's all it is. It's not rocket science. It's not huge magic or anything. And I gotta say, like, it just turns out like really nice. And also there's a horizontal clip here, and all that does is to try to fill in the gap, because this gap is really obnoxious. But just putting something there, like even this horizontal clip, it just helps fill it out. So that's pretty nice. Also, the gun mantlet does not elevate up or down, and that's by design, is on purpose. This gun mantlet is actually pretty dang heavy, so it would be drooping if it did not have any support. And basically what it's doing is it's resting on the front plate here. And I gotta say, the most annoying connection of this build is the front plate. How it's connected is just kind of annoying, and the buyer who's going to get this, he's going to see that. So hopefully you don't have too much issues with that. But yeah, if I was able to do it, then I think anyone else can do it. That's my motto. Also, the turret, unfortunately, it doesn't go 360 degrees currently. I think it could, but what's stopping it right now is the front two hatches here. So you can see it catches there, which doesn't allow it to rotate 360 degrees, unfortunately. However, if you like kind of picked it up, okay, I just accidentally removed the turret. But yeah, if you picked it up, you can do this. And that's actually pretty freaking cool, having the turret just rotated to the side there. And we'll get a view of that. So yeah, that is actually like really cool. What the heck? I wish I took some pictures like that. But yeah, so you can do that. Pretty cool. Here, I'm just gonna remove the turret, and you can see here, I'll show the inside a little bit. So there's nothing special going on there. Can't fit any minifigs in there, which is fine because I don't care about that. I go for maximum accuracy, and we can take a closer look at the turret here. So here's the turret. And oh boy, it is literally just like an angled box, and that's what it is. It looks complicated, but it's actually not too complicated. What's going on here is just some clever connections, and that's pretty much it. The only complicated thing here is like on the front, how this is connected, but once again, I don't want to explain that. Here's the top, and the top is pretty unconventional. So you have like the edges here, they're just like cheese slopes, and then you have panels that like it transitions from cheese slopes to panels, and then from like bricks and stuff, like snot techniques. So it's just like kind of crazy what's going on there. Unfortunately, these hatches do not open. Unfortunately, if I had enough time, or if I wasn't that lazy, then I'm sure I could redesign it a bit where it could open. However, it would come at a cost of not looking that good. Yeah, I just connected the turret back. Pretty straightforward. And also here's the front. I really like how the front turned out. It's just a really, once again, a tight connection with these panels touching these slope pieces. And also here's the lower plate. Once again, oh crap, I accidentally, whoops. Hopefully that didn't mess it up too much. This model's pretty sturdy. It's pretty strong, actually. I wouldn't pick it up like this. I would pick it up from the back and from the front. But overall, it is pretty dang strong. It cannot roll really at all. I think it could actually roll if it had better tracks. The big problem here is, like the big problem with rollability here is how the front is designed, so how the front drive sprocket is mounted, and also it's the track. So these tracks, and a few people have asked me about this, these tracks are from custombricks.de. DE stands for Deutschland, Germany. So these are all the way from Germany, and these are like the widest custom tracks I've been able to find. These are 3 wide. Blue Bricks does exist, however their tracks are like 2.9 wide or something, not quite 3 wide, and also they are out of stock, and they have been out of stock for like over a year, which is absolutely sad, and I don't know why they're not restocking them. I would have bought them anyways, because they look like they're way more higher quality than custom bricks here. But for some reason they're not restocking them. I don't know if it's supply chain issues. I did DM them on Instagram, and they just said like, yeah, we don't know when we're gonna restock them. So they didn't say no, but it was very ambiguous. It was very vague, like the most vague thing I've heard. But yeah, so the tracks are super unique. They're from Germany. You can actually go and buy them. They're not they're actually cheaper than Brickmania track links, believe it or not. So, but yeah, in terms of quality, they are kind of questionable. But hey, they make this E-100 look dang good. And if you look at the Brickmania E-100, you can see that they're using 4 wide tracks, and they're using two wide track links, which is pretty clever. And hey, it works. So another piece I want to look at here is the back. So here is the booty, the butt of the model. So what we going on here on the rear engine deck is TMC printed vents. They're really cheap. You can just go and buy them when you're on their website. Hopefully they're in stock. They are usually in stock, which is pretty nice. And I need to buy another set of these because I'm going to give these to the new owner of the E-100. And also there's turntables here. However, these are all sanded down, which is a bit illegal. This is really the only like super illegal part of the build. But turntables, they're like so thin already, and they just have that little nub there, that sanding off the little nub, it's just like, it's really easy. So that's what I did there. I think it's perfectly fine. A lot of other people also do little things like that. When you when you get into like the custom military building scene, you will find like a lot of people just doing like sketchy stuff with their builds that Lego would never do in a million years. Um, but yeah, also this model does have working suspension, so you can see that how it goes down there. So if it was like going over a hole or something, some wheels would drop down. Unfortunately, the suspension is ruined by the tracks because the tracks are like pretty freaking stale. They don't really want to move. Uh, if you added like an extra track link on it, it still wouldn't help the situation. The tracks are just absolutely god awful. But hey, you know, I can live with that. I am okay with that. All I care about is the looks. What else do I want to say? I think I've covered everything. Oh my god, this is gonna be one hell of a long video. Like, oh man, this is gonna be a long video. But this is a pretty epic vehicle, and I'm sure you guys are okay with an extra long video. Alright, but anyways, that's enough dilly-daddle. Let's go on ahead to the comparison, and yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, welcome back, guys. Before we move on to comparisons, I want to do like some more like information stuff. So in conjunction with this build, I actually went ahead and I bought Panzertrax number 63, heavy Panzerkampfwagen Mouse and E-100, development and production from 1942 to 1945, created by Jens and Doyle. These guys are excellent. If you're like a serious like German tank nerd or a tank nerd in general, I would highly recommend this series of books. They have a ton of information, historical information and drawings about the vehicles. But anyways, from this book, it has some pretty... Here, let me... Man, I do not have a good setup right now. But yeah, let me lay out the book here. Let me pick up my phone. So, this has some really awesome pictures of the actual E-100. Usually you don't see these on the internet. You can find them, but they're pretty hard to find. So here's the front drive sprocket. It wasn't completed. It was almost completed, but not completed. And then you can see the front here, and you can really see, like, you can clearly see that angle. And also here's some more pictures. There's the booty once again, and you got those very obvious tow hooks. And then here's the E-100 in the factory. Not really completed at all, but it was pretty close. And then there's the inside, and you can see like how small that driver's chair is, and then you can see like you can just see how huge like this I think it's like a drivetrain, what it's called, going to the transmission in the front. And it is absolutely insane. And also when they captured this, it did have the engine in it, so it was the chassis was really close to being done. But the turret was not complete whatsoever. So yeah, here it is, open up, you can see that engine in there. And also you can see like the radiator fans, stuff like that. Just absolutely like excellent pictures. And there's another really nice picture where they open that up. And then you can see the wheels here. And then you can see the tracks. This is a really good picture. Yeah, I just highly recommend this book. It's just a really nice book to peruse through. And also, the side armor was complete. And once again, you can see what I was talking about with that angle. It's not a consistent, like, curve. It's, like, kind of straight on the top, and then it, like, kind of curves down. So it's a little bit weird. You can see it right here. And if we look at my model, you can see that. So I think I captured that pretty well. That was like a big focus I had. And then you can see a 1/35 scale drawing here. Same scale as this. And then there's that. Also, like, they have an outline on the turret here. I think the all of the drawings for the turret were destroyed, but they captured some employees and they had them redraw the turrets. I think that's how the story goes. So it's kind of, the turret is kind of sketchy, but this is basically what we have. And what this turret basically is, it's the Mouse 2 turret, but it's just way lighter. Like it has way thinner armor. And then here's some more pictures. So you see these pictures a lot on the internet. These are pretty common to find. Well, I know this one is. You see this one on the internet all the time, but I don't think, yeah, you don't really see these pictures on there. But anyways, something I want to point out, so the E-100 was significantly lighter than the Mouse. And the way they achieved that is that they lightened the turret. Well, they had to lighten the turret because the chassis here could not hold up. You know, it was not as strong as the Mouse. So what they did to lighten the turret was they reduced the side armor of the turret to 80 millimeters, and it's at a 29-degree slope. And I posted this on Instagram, and I got several messages from people, and they were like, actually, the side armor is like more than 80 millimeters because it's at a slope. And I'm like, yes, I know that. But the reason why this is so weird is because the side armor, so on the whole, it's 120 millimeters, and then it's an extra 75 millimeters with the extra side armor there. So the side armor is 75 millimeters, and then it's another 120. So that's a total effective thickness of 195 millimeters in that space. And that is actually thicker than the Mouse. Like, believe it or not, that is thicker than the Mouse. And also, if we go to this picture here, you can see how huge this target is. Like this side turret is. It's a huge target. It's only 80 millimeters with like 29-degree slope. So what? That's like around 100, 110 millimeters of effectiveness. That is not a lot of protection. And there are guns in 1945 that can defeat that pretty easily at range. So yeah, kind of an epic fail. You can, yeah, this kind of looks shorter than it actually is, but they just, yeah. So however, on the front of the turret it's 200 millimeters, so that's pretty nice. On the rear of the turret it's 150 millimeters. I think the reason why the rear of the turret was so thick was so that it could act as a counterbalance, because the front here is already so heavy. But yeah, that's just like kind of a weird design choice, how they kept the turret armor like so weak. And you would think on such an expensive, like heavy, like a super heavy tank like this, you would think they would, you know, at least have it make it have decent side armor, but they didn't, so that's weird. Anyways, oh my god, this video is gonna be way too long. Holy crap. I respect anyone that watches this video the whole way through, but this is a special video because this is a big build. A big build requires a big video. Alright, anyways, so moving on to the minifig comparison. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, 5, and 6. So I believe this thing had a crew of 6. So you got 2 on the front here, the driver and the radio operator, and then you would have 4 on the turret. You would have the gunner, commander, and 2 loaders. And I made kind of a pretty cool E-100 crew here. These are all TMC. So there's the commander, a random guy, that's the radio operator, random guy, and I think the last guy here would be the driver, because he does have those cool Panzer goggles. Yeah, one of them has an eye patch, whatever. This is alternate history, so we can be a little goofy here. But yeah, so this build is just absolutely huge, and putting 6 minifigs next to it really really shows that off. So we'll push them to the side here, and let's get on to the first vehicle comparison. So let's put up the heavy tank in 1944 to 45. So this would be the Tiger II. More specifically, this is the early Tiger II I made. So this is using the early Krupp design turret, not the Porsche turret. That's incorrect. This is a Krupp turret. Yeah, so you can already see like the massive size difference between the two. So far, like their width is actually pretty close, which is not too surprising. The Germans always kind of kept their widths pretty consistent on their vehicles. And let's go on to the side here. And oh my gosh, this is going to be like absolutely insane. So yeah, you can see that the E-100 is obviously longer than the Tiger II, but their height is kind of similar. Let me pick up the phone here. So yeah, you can see their height is, well, the E-100 is taller, but kind of close. But yeah, it is just, this is just a behemoth, like an absolute behemoth. So there's that. Nothing too special. Unfortunately, I don't have a mouse. I kind of wish I had a mouse, or at least a Brickmania mouse, or hell, even the Brickmania E-100 that I could use to compare this with. I think that would be much more entertaining, but alas, I don't have that. All right, anyways, moving on. Here's the final comparison. This is just a meme pretty much. So here's the Panzer III and here's the E-100. And yeah, it's just not even like a competition at this point. Well, of course it isn't. Like these tanks are separated by years. And also they're different types. This is a medium tank and this is a super heavy tank. So yeah, but I just find it pretty amusing comparing the two. And also it's kind of crazy to think that this thing only has one more crew than this. This thing has 5 crew. All right, 5 crew. That is insane. This thing has 6. So yeah, that's just kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, I'm gonna take that away. Sorry if you can hear my chair squeaking. Once again, even though I'm monetized, I'm still using the most bare bone, cheapest setup. And that's how we like to be around here. We like to be cheap. Well, that's actually ironic considering the amount of TMC that I buy. But anyways, but yeah, so this is going to be the end of the video. This is going to be a really long one. Oh my gosh, it's so long I might even put up mid-roll ads and see how that goes. Maybe not, who knows. You guys will find out when you watch the video. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I'm gonna go now. I need to edit and render this video, which is gonna take forever. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.